They got until 1 o'clock today.
Yeah.
They got until 1 o'clock, Spinoni. But they don't need just one pitcher. They need a bullpen arm, maybe two.
Yeah.
They need a couple hitters. Their July was awful as they go 0 for 9 with the runners in scoring position last night against the D-backs.
And I couldn't get Luciano in that bat. Like, we go 0 for 9, and I couldn't get one, and I get it. 4 straight days for your young stud. You don't want to overwork him, but just a pinch hit, maybe?
A pinch hit.
Come on.
You're bringing these kids up. Let them play.
Seriously.
This year's about the development.
That's the whole point.
Patrick Bailey is developing in front of our eyes.
Yes.
Luis Matos getting better and better and better. You want to see a little more power, but I say get him in the top 2 spots in the lineup and let him run around the bases a little bit. He draws walks. He has a good eye. Why are we wasting time with him in the 6th spot, the 7th spot, the 8th spot? And get Luciano the damn game. But the Diamondbacks with a much-needed win yesterday in extra innings. That's a tough one for the Giants to blow. They had a 2-0 lead late in that game. You blow that game, and now what do you do at the deadline? What do you do, Giants fans? What do you want to see them do? Big John, go ahead and unlock the phone lines for me there. 888-957-9570. We got a fun show happening today. But Spinoni, man, the Giants, what do you want to see them do?
I want a move. A good move. That's it.
Not A.J. Pollock?
Not A.J. Pollock. That's not what I want. Maybe he was good a few years ago with the Dodgers. He was an all-star with the Arizona Diamondbacks who just beat you last night. The White Sox, I didn't even know he was still in the league, Bonte.
Yeah.
Did you know he was on the Mariners? I didn't even know that. I knew he was a White Sox. And then after that, I was like, oh, he's still around, huh? This guy, A.J. Pollock, not doing too much. And I saw Mark Willard tweet yesterday. He's like, well, positive spin, 850 OPS in July. Oh, let me see. That bumps up his season total to a 582.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Wait, Mark Willard had a positive...
547, actually. I gave him too much credit.
Mark Willard had a positive spin on the Giants?
Hey, you know what? You got to do what you got to do there. I understand. As a fan, I do that sometimes as well, but 547 is not going to cut it.
Did Mark Willard have a positive spin on Trey Lance yesterday? I'm just kidding, Willard. I'm kidding.
Did Brock Purdy have a positive spin on that football yesterday?
Well, one hit the turf and one went into the hands of Dre Greenlaw.
Boy.
And apparently Trey Lance have lit it up 2 straight days. But you would never know that considering the coverage of Trey Lance. Anyway, we'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get into Michael Silver's article from the Chronicle. We'll get into everything that's going on down in Niners camp.
There's a lot happening around this Bay Area sports scene. This whole summer has been kind of wild. Like, you had Farhan talking yesterday. That always riles people up. You had this quarterback controversy going. Controversy, if you don't want to say that. I don't even know what it is. You had Jordan Poole. You had Draymond Green. This is the summer of Bay Area sports right now.
It's been on fire.
It's been on fire.
It has
for
been
Sports
on fire.
Talk Radio, maybe it's been on fire like for the actual franchise.
No, it's actually on fire. It's on fire for everybody. Even Sports Talk Radio. It's all on fire.
I'm loving it.
But you look at A.J. Pollock. He's batting 141 against lefties this year. 214 against righties.
It's not going to cut it. It's
not gonna
good.
cut.
I get it. Maybe if it's a depth piece, you expect Yaz. Maybe he's the grade 1 strain. He's going to be out for a few.
Yeah, he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So you need a replacement in the outfield. But what about the bat? At least Yaz has a little more power than Pollock.
Yes. No, he does. That's the thing. And then you get this. It's not very sexy, and that's just what we come to expect from Farhan Zaidi trades and deadlines, right? You had the Chris Bryant one. That was cool. That was a rental, though.
Right.
You didn't really expect maybe you could bring him back, but even then, most Giants fans were like, we're probably not going to bring him back. But I appreciate him going for it. What's going to signal to you Giants fans at 888-957-9570 that signals to you that, man, Farhan's really going for it this time? Because I don't know if that move's out there to be made for him. Eduardo Rodriguez, maybe. I'm seeing the Orioles are interested in Justin Verlander. That's going to be the guy, right? Everyone's going to want to get their hands on Justin Verlander. You're seeing the Houston Astros, maybe reunion with them, obviously winning a Cy Young for them last season. So there's going to be lots of different little storylines to be had as it pertains to the Giants and this free agency period.
Well, what do you want to see Farhan do? Because I'm in the camp that I'm cool with them just sitting back not doing anything. Because I was under the impression this was going to be a developmental year. And when I see 4 guys up right now in Schmidt, Matos, Luciano, and Patrick Bailey.
Yeah.
And I want to see them play through the end of the season. So I'm happy with that because the expectations were so low going into the season. Now you say, do you owe it to the team? Do you owe it to the fan base? Do you try to go for it? Well, how much can you go for it? When your total payroll is over $183 million.
Which is wild.
As Sam Lutman was mentioning, the competitive balance tax, you don't want to go over that line. What is it, Lutman? 205 this year? 203?
Somewhere in that line. I can get you that exact number in a second.
All right, so if you want to make a big-time move, do you want to go over that? But this is where bad contracts in the offseason hurt you. This is where giving Sean Manaea a 2-year, $25 million deal and a player option for $15 million hurt you. Just we're giving Ross Stripling the same deal with a player option for $15 million hurt you.
DeSclafani a couple years ago.
DeSclafani on the IL right now has done nothing the last 2 seasons. Nothing at all. How about Mitch Haniger? You sign him as a consolation prize for Aaron Judge, and he hasn't really played for you all this season, and he's on the 3-year deal. So I don't know what you can do here. What prospects like Giants fans, you talk about prospects. Well, do you really want to give up on Wizenhut? Do you want to give up on Helio Ramos?
Who's hurt, by the way, right?
Right.
Is Wizenhut hurt right now? So, like, who's going to go out there and go trade for someone that's hurt? And you're just like, there's not a lot to be made, but I think that's just where Giants fans are still. Farhan, it's like, listen, if you're not going to go out and get the guys in free agency, you whiffed on Aaron Judge, you whiffed on Carlos Correa. Well, you thought you had him, but then you backed out. Can you trade for someone? Because that's just it, right? You're going to have to trade for these guys if you're not getting them in free agency. And I get it. There's the hot stove and all of that sort of stuff. But you would like to at least see him go for some big fish. Right. Someone, right? Just say, like, you know what? I have faith that Farhan can at least trade for the guy, and maybe getting him in the building for these next few months could get that head start into that free agency period. Yep. Now, Verlander, I get it. The cash, it's a lot. But you're getting a guy who just won a Cy Young. I get it. He's older. He's better than Scherzer at this stage.
You know, Spadoni.
If you get this guy into this rotation, I think that signals the fan base, hey, let's go for it. Does it not do anything for you? You're giving me the smirk, Bonte. Like, that doesn't do anything for you.
Verlander's not helping his team go anywhere. This team has so many holes.
You're only a couple games back.
Yeah, but they have so many holes. They have so many holes. So many holes. They can't even get to the 6th inning.
But they're right there.
And I'm sitting here and I'm Mr. Buy. Sell prospects. But I don't think this lineup's all that.
Okay.
Like, Wilmer Flores is having a hell of a July. I mean, he saved your asses. Everybody. And everybody wanted to run. Everybody wanted to run him out of town. Remember that?
Wilmer Flores.
Wilmer Flores has been a stud for this team. A stud. But who else?
Yeah.
Who else? It feels like there's a lot of debt weight on this baseball team, and they have overachieved so far to start the season.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, according to Farhan Zaidi, they won't do much at the deadline.
Yeah.
The way he talked yesterday.
That was kind of uninspiring, right? To say, like, I don't think there's a guy out there that can go 7-2 for us or whatever it is. That was like, well, yes, there is. There's a guy named Justin Verlander, but that's basically you signaling to me that you guys have no shot to get this guy, right? Like, it's just, with Farhan Zaidi, at certain point, and I think it's all going to start culminating into next season. That's why this season, there's the expectations, make the playoffs, and that's pretty much it. Like, that's all you want, because next season's going to be the year, right? He has this club option. They can exercise it, right? Who was it? Johnson was talking about it.
Yeah, Charles Johnson.
Charles Johnson's like, you know what? We're probably going to exercise that. We want Farhan back. Then next year's the year. Then I don't want any excuses. But this year, right now, you said make the playoffs. And I expect that from them. It would be disappointing.
Did you expect that?
Yeah, I would
before the season.
Yes, I expected them to be in the mix. To be in the mix. The NL's not very good, Bonte.
Yeah, I know it's not very good, but I didn't expect this team to do much. I didn't expect this team to be 2 back or 3 back of the Dodgers at this point. I just didn't see it.
I saw a couple years ago, that was the high end, right? 100 and plus wins. Right. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to be that bad last year, having 81 and 81. I didn't expect them to be average. I expected somewhere in the middle of that. Maybe 90 wins, high 80s, and I think that would have been good enough, and we're seeing it now, good enough to compete for a wild card spot. So we can see if they can do that going forward. But listen, getting that loss last night, I think it just ramps up even more why you need another bat in this lineup.
I'm looking at Arizona. You know who their 2-3-4 hitters are.
Yeah.
I know people go crazy over this.
Yeah.
Christian Walker at a cleanup spot. Corbin Carroll at a 3 spot. You got Ketel Marte in the 2 spot.
Love Ketel Marte.
Ketel Marte, he's a baller. You know who their guys are. At this point in the season, I would just say Luis Matos bat leadoff. Marco Luciano bat second. Wilmer Flores bat third. Conforto bat fourth. J.D. Davis bat fifth. Or just give me a set 5 every single day and let these kids play. I'm looking at the July split, Spadoni. Yeah. Wilmer Flores, 6 home runs, 11 RBIs. He's batting .368 in the month of July. Awesome month. Awesome month for him. Michael Conforto, not bad, even though he doesn't have a home run in the month of July. But he did bat .275, but the OPS is all the way down. These OPSs are nasty. Let me read these off. Michael Conforto, .665 OPS on base percentage. Marco Luciano, .697. Luis Matos, .697. That's under 700, folks. Blake Sable, .544. Patrick Bailey, The month of July, with the bat in his heads, has been rough. 167. On-base percentage, 196. OPS, 419. I mean, this is rough. Lamont Wade Jr., 161 batting average in the month of July. 316 on-base percentage.
One hit, not to cut you off, Bonte. One hit the last 69 at-bats for Lamont Wade. He was starting off so high. We were talking about all-star. Obviously, it's the NL so damn stacked with first baseman, so he probably wasn't going to get it. But he was having an all-star type of a year. He's faded fast.
Faded hard.
Yes.
Faded hard. So you look at all these averages. Look at all these guys batting under 200. Post All-Star break. Patrick Bailey, Lamont Wade Jr., Austin Slater, Brandon Crawford, J.D. Davis, Mike Yastrzemski, Brett Wisely, Casey Schmidt, David Villar. I mean, this is nasty work. So
AJ
Justin
Verlander is coming through.
Justin Verlander is not helping your lineup. They are leaking oil going into the dog days of August. These bats are tired. They need reinforcements at the plate, let alone pitching. So I just think there's way too many holes here, Spadoni. Way too many holes.
Okay, well then what's the move then for you? Nothing? Stand pat?
Stand pat. Let the youngsters play.
That's pretty uninspiring, though, isn't it, to the fan base?
I mean, the offseason was uninspiring.
Well, the
signings were uninspiring.
I agree.
You know?
But sooner or later, you got to do something, right? You would have, we can't keep waiting for them to attract free agents in the winter. You got to go and trade for these guys because you're not getting them.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I just don't know what they can do. Now, here's what Farhan Zaidi, president of baseball operations of the San Francisco Giants, said yesterday before the game about evaluating the pitching market. Here's Farhan Zaidi.
Obviously, there's been some movement. You know, we had I thought, really good weekend of pitching with Stripling and Minaya pitching really well. And again, I don't think we view the opener as like some core philosophy that we're trying to champion, but we've had a lot of success in those games, and a lot of that comes from the ability to feature our bullpen, which has been a strength of the team. So we've got to be careful about the workload with the bullpen. But if there's a way to manage a game where, you know, we get quality out of our starters like we got this weekend, but we can also feature our bullpen, which is really effective, especially when put in good matchups, that's just a good way for us to win games. Obviously, we've been very successful in those games.
So that's Farhan Zaidi right there. Here's more on Farhan Zaidi and evaluation of the pitching market. He says he's not sure there's a starter that can go.
Weighing that flexibility and ability to feature our pen against bringing in a starter who we kind of be locked into. I mean, I'm not sure there's a starter who, you know, we could win, you know, go, I guess, you know, 7-2 in their last 9 starts, which I mean, 14-4, you know, with openers. So it's a pretty good formula for us, and we obviously want to make sure we're not overtaxing our pitching staff, and continuing to get buy-in, and, you know, the unselfishness that we've had on the position player side with guys coming off the bench and pinch hitting. I think it's really carried over to the pitching group now, and we're seeing a lot of that same selflessness, which has been a huge part of the story for us this season. So, you know, knowing that we have that as a backdrop, we're getting buy-in, we're getting quality, you know, we'll just have to evaluate that of what's left in the market, which, as you pointed out, is pretty thin now.
That's uninspiring.
Very uninspiring. I did not feel. Did he even sound confident in his squad going forward? Is that a guy who gives you confidence in this squad, Bonte Hill?
It does not inspire the room.
Did not.
No, there's some people who go into a meeting, they inspire everybody to get people fired up. You think about the Wolf on Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio, when he's hitting his chest and he's getting everybody fired up.
Jordan Belfort.
I mean, Farhan Zaidi, you go into a room, you're falling asleep.
I'm juxtaposing this with John Lynch speaking to the media yesterday and the swagger and confidence in which that man speaks with. And I get it. They're different guys. Like they're coming from different clubs. I'm not saying that you can't be a great public speaker and still be great at your job. There's plenty of people like that. I'm one of them. But anyways, like I'm just talking about John Lynch. Like that guy went into that meeting yesterday, talking to the media, and he's just like, you know what? I want Bosa back here. I inspire confidence in my team. This guy's, and I come back from that as a fan, like, you know what? I'm confident that John Lynch is going to get done. Because you know what? He showed me in the past that he's gotten these guys signed. He's gotten the Deebo Samuels, if you will, the Jimmy Garoppolos, these big deals, the George Kittles. He's gotten all this stuff done. I'm looking at Farhan going forward with this team. I don't know if he can get it done when it comes to the trading, when it comes to the free agent acquisitions. And if you're not doing that, then I expect the young guys to continue to grow and grow. But right now we're seeing them fade a little bit.
You know, you're right. They are fading. Xfinity Mobile text line. 510. Man, Farhan is good at tiptoeing around questions.
The
There's no doubt
yeah.
about that. He's got that down to